we'll try to do this super quick, so I hope it will go well. So the subject of this lightning talk is hosting a Helm repository on GitHub pages. The first question that you may ask yourself is, but why? Why would you do this, right? Because it's a solved problem, isn't it? So you already have public Helm chart repositories, such as the Charts Museum. They are even being aggregated through something that is named and was introduced last year, named Helm Hub. And of course, Baruch would know about it, right? Artifactory has also an offering that, that Artifactory can act as a Helm repository as well. So all of this is super true. I'm totally aware of this, so why would I? It's because, for example, if you want to go via the Charts Museum route, then you need to to obey certain guidelines. Usually they're pretty reasonable, but sometimes part of your organization, you're not able to do this. And sometimes just having an Artifactory being deployed publicly, maybe that's not going to work exactly for you. So all in all, sometimes you may not want to go those routes, even if they are the recommended ones. So what about it? You want to deploy your Helm chart repository. What's a Helm chart repository anyway? Well, you know what? At the end of the day, it's just an index. So here you can look at this index.yaml file, and this index is basically referring to several tarballs, right? So if I have a Helm chart that is named chart, and I got two versions of it, you can see that they are all going to be referenced in the same index.yaml file. So one index file, few tarballs. That's about it. So how can we actually do this? So let's have a look how we can create this index and those tarballs. So I suggest that we go through a super quick demo. And in this quick demo, we're going to create a new Helm chart. And we're going to call it Greta, because that's kind of a day to call it Greta. So let's do Helm create Greta. And it's going to create a new Helm chart, I guess. Yes, there it is. Basically, what is a Helm chart? If you're not aware of what this is, it's basically a bunch of Kubernetes manifests bundled together and versioned. And when you are done creating your Helm chart, probably you would want to run linting on it just to make sure that they are compliant to some guidelines. Okay, well, there's just one. Helm lint. Well, sorry, first we'll go into Greta. We'll do Helm lint dot. What about it? Okay, well, there's just a missing icon. So far, so good. Let's create, let's package it. So we're going to package it into its own tarball. And there we go. We already have our Helm chart as a tarball, ready to go. Now we need to create a repository. So to do this, we just do helm repo index dot, and when we do this, we'll end up with an index.yaml file, right? And in this index, we have this version. The cool thing with it is that if you go and change your Helm chart and you switch to version number 2, and then you rerun, and then you repackage it, you will have the new version, 020, and then if you rerun repo index, obviously you should have the two versions being indexed, right? So far so good. And when you want, of course, to be able to consume those Helm charts, what you need to do is basically you need to run a web server. And to do this, you can, on the Mac, you can just start up a small HTTP server that is going just to show my file system. And just doing this should be enough, actually. If I go and try to install from it, my name is Greta. Sorry. There we go. As you can see, the Helm CLI, and actually it's tighter behind the hood, we are going to download the index, and then we're going to grab the latest, because I didn't specify a version. And yeah, my Helm chart is going to be deployed. Right? That was easy, right? So of course, you might say that, well, you don't want your laptop, your local host to act as a Helm chart repo, but totally makes sense. So this is why this is the second part of the talk, right? Where would you host it, right? Well, you've got GitHub pages. That's a nice place to put some some static files because, hey, we just want to host static files. So how can we automate this? Let's have a look at a project that is doing just this. So I have my Helm chart right there, and it's published on GitHub. Let's do a change to this chart. I suggest that we're just going to change one keyword, for example, and we'll see about the automation. So if I go there, let's add a new tag, for example, Java, and I'm going to add a new tag. Okay. So once I have committed this, because I have created an Azure pipeline manifest, and I've configured it, then all those steps are going to be run. So as you can see, the Azure pipeline manifest is just about few steps. Few tasks as part of steps. So the most interesting ones are basically package. This is the thing that I just did, right? So it's going to package the Helm chart, then it's going to download the existing index.yaml, and then it's going to merge it with the new one. So this is what I did earlier on, repo index -- merge. Great. And then there's this one last step. It's basically running a bash script about Git because it's going to push it to GitHub pages. So how does that work? Basically, you just need to set up your GitHub repository for GitHub pages. It's in the settings, and then you just say that whenever you push stuff to the GH pages branch, then it's going to be visible at this given URL, right? So this is where things are. And basically, if you go there and you type index.yaml, you would expect the proper index.yaml to be there. Okay. So did the pipeline run properly? Let's have a look. As you can see, the pipeline is configured to be executing this Azure pipeline thing, so easy enough. If we go there, we should have a list of the builds running. Add a new tag. Oh, as you can see, it has already run. Let's have a look. Everything is successful. So as you can see, it just did that. I mean, it just ran all the steps that we have seen together. And if I go back to my GitHub repo, if I go there to GS pages, if I go right there, GitHub pages, you could see that it was updated 1 minute ago, right? So there's a new, it has overwritten the version 2, and it has updated the index.yaml. So that was it. Thank you. If you want more info, you can just grab this URL, tiny.cc/helm-github. You will see the slides, and also I wrote a blog post about it with more details.